Hey friends, and welcome back to my channel. It's Teresa here with a layout for the Erica Rose Creates creative team. I'm using a cut file from Erica's Patreon. This is called the Rosette Mandala cut file. And this is my layout. I'm working with products from Fancy Pants, Honey, and Bee. So these are the photos I've printed out. They're from a haircut I got back in 2022. And so my idea for this layout is to use, this is half of the cut file itself. The actual cut file was a full circle. And what I wanted to do was kind of make it feel sort of like a trellis on the side of someone's house or in your backyard with vines and florals coming out of that trellis. And so this is the background pattern paper that I chose. I love this color, and I love a subtle color on color background. Isn't that gorgeous? I have some watercolors that I'm going to do some ink splatters, and we'll see. That's all I know about the layout right now, so we'll see how it develops. I do have the florals themselves are cut from another pattern paper in the Honey and Bee collection, and so that's kind of what I'm looking at, my idea right now. I also have the embellishment pack from this collection, the puffy stickers here from this collection, and these gorgeous gold puffy titles and gold on white florals. I am in love with these, and I'm going to use a bunch of them because they're so pretty. I think they'll make a perfect title, the perfect accent to what's going on with the florals. This is the watercolor palette. It's just a little travel palette from Aquafine. And so this is what the colors look like untouched. And we're going to have a fun little play with those. I've got two paintbrushes, a little rough, cheapy paintbrush and the little fan paintbrush that I wanted to play with today. So, and again, two photos, they're going to make up the bottom half of the layout. So basically, the layout is going to be almost cut in half using the rule of thirds, never quite put anything in the center, but, you can break that rule as well. And so I want to get a feel here for what I want to do with the bottom third to half of this layout. And so I'm thinking like a pattern paper and a little border. I'm really liking these flowers here, just the scattered feel of it. And it is a little bit busy, but the photos are going to take up quite a bit of that space. And I think that the gold might actually look really nice against that busy floral. So let's dive into the watercolors here. The first thing I'm going to do is mix up a color. And I'm going to this with an open mind. I haven't used this palette in a long time, so I don't really remember. I don't have it swatched, and that's fine. Color mixing for me is always a little bit of a gamble. It's a little bit of a, well, let's see what happens. And that is the spirit of experimentation and being relaxed about the outcome. So first, what I thought I would do was experiment with the reds. But then I remembered that whenever I do red splatters or pink splatters, I always feel like they look like a crime scene. So I'm not going to do that. I'm going to work with some of these greens and blues and a little bit of the burnt sienna to see what kind of deeper blue or deeper teal I can come up with. I love the blue in this collection. It tended to look a little bit more purple in the photographs, which was kind of surprising because it's really more of a teal blue. But you can kind of see here what I'm working towards, and just adding more and more water to kind of make it a little softer versus what comes from mixing straight from the palette. So here we go. I'm going to dive in and see what happens here. And I actually really like that. I think it's soft. It's not too bold. It contrasts beautifully against that yellow there. And I like how it peeks through the cut file as well. So I'm going to go ahead and commit to the pattern papers while that dries a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and cut the pattern papers. I ended up cutting this one at like 4.5 inches tall. And then this one to go behind it is 4 3/4 inches tall, in case you were wondering. So that is right at the third mark of the page. And so I'm going to go ahead also and adhere these together, distress the edges a little bit just to help them stand up off the page, and also just making sure that I can tuck things underneath that bottom layer when they're adhered to the page. And I'm already digging how this is coming out. I'm already loving this. I think this was a haircut I got back in March of 2022, and it was an invitation for spring and a new look for me. It ended up being a little more blonde than what I like, so that's why I don't have it anymore. Look what I did here. I do this a lot. I use a paper towel to kind of speed the drying process along. And however, it kind of made those watercolor splotches fade a little bit. So I'm looking at them now as I'm getting ready to glue the photos down, and I put the adhesive down, and then I decided to wait on gluing those down because the ink splatters just kind of melted away. I'm still debating that, and then yeah, let's do that. It means it'll have to dry a little bit longer. But that's fine. And then it actually ended up working out really nice. I love happy accidents because now there's almost like two layers of ink splatters there, or watercolor splatters. The lighter first layer that I put down, and then a bit darker top layer. And so that works out really well. I love using that fan brush. If it's really saturated with color, then the ink splatters will be darker. If it's really saturated with water versus color, then the ink splatters will be lighter. And so it gives you some choices there. And they look really nice, especially after the fact, after using the heat tool. They look really nice and work out beautifully. So at this point, I can adhere the cut file, or the half cut file. I only glued every other spike, I guess. Originally, I thought I was going to tuck the flowers into the mandala, but it didn't end up working that way. We'll get to that part in a bit here, but first what I'm going to do is after getting the photos down, I'm going to add these beautiful gold and white puffy titles and puffy florals to the layout. There's a couple of ways that you could go about doing the title. You could put the title either across the top, echoing the circle of the mandala, or you can do what I'm getting ready to do, and that is just place the title across the bottom. And what this begins to do is it begins to invite you to balance out each half, or each the bottom third with the 2/3. And what do I mean by that? So the cut file becomes a prominent element, right? And later on the florals and the photos are prominent elements. And then the pattern paper with the busy floral is a supporting actor, and the gold title is also a supporting actor. And what you want to do is make sure that those supporting actors, right now they're very much at the bottom third, but I want to repeat those elements on the top 2/3 as well to help create that balance. And so here's where the florals are going to go. They're going to, in the end, I'm going to tuck them behind the photos. And what I'm doing is putting the liquid glue on the bottom half on the underside of the embellishments, so that the photo still stands up in front of them, but also it gives a little bit of room to sort of bend them a little bit and create that dimension and that look of flowers, like I was hoping for, flowers that look like they're growing out of the trellis. I love that look. I love that concept. And I think that it is coming together so beautifully. Notice how I trimmed out all these florals with just a little bit of a border around them, so they pop beautifully here on the page. And it's just fun to cut them apart a little bit more and create the look that you want. Just filling in little spots and seeing where else needs a little something. And so at this juncture, I am almost done, and I'm almost run out of flowers. But just a little one right here, where the photos meet. And I also feel like diagonally above that is still a little bit of a blank space. So I'm going to add just this little partial floral here. And then here comes the opportunity to echo the gold at the bottom half. And actually, first I'm going to go through, I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm going to go through this pack of ephemera and just see like what other little elements. Like, I feel like the title, look at this cute little kite. I'm going to put that somewhere. I was thinking about using the hat or the little, there's some baskets with floral arrangements in this collection. They're so pretty. I love how this collection is obviously bee themed, but they also included a lot of different other kinds of elements as well. So you don't have to use it as a necessarily bee themed product. I love that. I love when that happens. I am going to use a little tag and a label at the top of the layout. This is one of the reasons why I did not put the title at the top of the page, was so that I would have a spot for the journaling and the little tag at the top. And I felt like that would establish that top boundary of the layout a little bit better and continue to carry the theme of the florals and the gold elements to the top of the page. So that's what I'm going to do. You'll see me do that right here. I'm going to distress the edges just a little bit so they pop off the page. And I'm also, notice how I'm putting this on the side of the layout that doesn't have the ink splatters. And I think that's a personal decision. A lot of people might have put it on the other side with the ink splatters. But I think that I wanted the ink splatters to show like that because I like them. I like them a lot. And that's cool to do. So going ahead and putting the kite down with a couple of florals and putting the butterfly over here next to the first letter of the title. I'm loving that. Some little florals here inside the beautiful word. And then here we go. Tucking the little gold puffy leaves behind these florals. And this just adds, right? It adds another layer of floral to the layout and balances the title at the bottom. So there's now several instances of gold puffy stickers and that beautiful texture and little bit of shimmer there on the page throughout the layout that your eye picks up on repeatedly. And that's what we're doing here to make a really cohesive layout and something that's really vibrant and exciting. There's lots to take in on this page. And just to think that it all started with a very simple Rosette Mandala layout is really fun. I'm going to take a minute here to add my journaling. Just talking about having a new haircut and how that at that point, this was at 2021, I think, was still pretty early in the pandemic. And so we were still kind of hesitant to go to the hair salons and get services, but we were slowly working it out as a population of people. Kudos to us for working our ways through that in safe ways. So there's the layout. Thank you so much. I realize I've got to cut off the branding strip and then you'll get to see the detail photos here. I will have links down below for you to Erica Rose's Patreon. And I hope you'll join us in the Erica Rose Creates Facebook group where you'll see tons more inspiration. And of course, a link to her shop where you can find tons more beautiful cut files and project kits available for you. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you back here again real soon. Bye-bye.